Turn around for me.
Hell yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this.
That doesn't change anything. You still are going to be arrested.
For what? You don't have any proof on me.
No, ma'am, I do.
GloRilla just got hit with a serious blow. Police reportedly found a heavy stash of marijuana in her home, and now she's staring down a major sentence. Stack that on top of her previous DUI and reckless driving cases, and it's looking like Memphis's breakout queen might be sidelined for good. From hood dreams to handcuffs, this fall is wild. It's not just a setback. GloRilla might be out the game entirely. Memphis royalty is now sitting in a jail cell. Here's where it all exploded. On July 22nd, 2025, GloRilla was arrested in Forsyth County, Georgia on felony charges for weed and a controlled substance. But don't go thinking she was out here dealing or caught dirty during a ride. Nah, it ain't that type of case. This whole mess started when some low-life burglars broke into her house while she was out performing at the WNBA All-Star Weekend. And instead of protecting the victim, cops decided to flip the script entirely. She called the police after her place was violated, family terrified, and valuables stolen. But instead of launching a manhunt for the burglars, the boys in blue turned on her. Like, imagine being the one who gets robbed, and then getting thrown in cuffs over it. They found a little personal stash in her bedroom, and suddenly that's enough for a felony rap? Make it make sense. She had to cough up $22,260 just to get out on bond, over her own weed in her own house. While she wasn't even there, GloRilla didn't stay quiet either. She came out swinging on social media and let the whole world know what really went down. Her post on Twitter or X racked up more than 3.6 million views in no time. She said, "My house got home invaded Saturday while I was in Indianapolis performing at the WNBA All-Star Game. And instead of focusing on finding the suspects, they focus on some cannabis." Straight facts. But to really understand the weight of this moment, you gotta rewind the tape and see where she came from. This ain't no polished Hollywood come-up tale. This is real grit, real survival. Gloria Hallelujah Woods rose from one of the roughest neighborhoods in the South, South Memphis. We're talking about growing up in a packed home with 9 siblings, trying to make it day by day, where sleeping on air mattresses was a flex.
My mama always say she marked me, but I ain't never feel no special than none of the other kids. We all was treated the same. It's just growing up, my mama had me near her. Like, I was like, right hand.
And just having food on the table felt like winning. But even in all that struggle, Gloria stood out. Her mom gave her a name like Hallelujah for a reason. She knew this one was built different. Now here's the part that's going to throw some of y'all off, especially if you only know Glo from her street bangers. Before she was out here,
I used to sing Amazing Grace. I used to sing this song called Encourage Yourself.
You were really a singer.
Yeah, I used to be singing in church like I had a good voice. And then once I had gotten in high school, we weren't going to church like that. When I got in high school, then when I got in high school, I had started smoking weed.
Forget the singing.
rapping about being FNF and running up the charts, GloRilla was deep in the church. And we're not talking part-time pew sit either. Nah, she was in there heavy. Sunday service was a lifestyle. She was in the choir belting out gospel classics like Amazing Grace and Encourage Yourself. Her whole family stayed locked into that church life. Every Sunday, no matter what, they showed up. Rain, shine, broke, busy. It didn't matter. That's how serious it was. And Glo? Sis had vocals. Real deal pipes. She wasn't just out here rhyming on beats. She could actually sing. Like, could have been a gospel star in a whole different timeline. The switch from the choir stand to rap stages? That's what makes her story even crazier. But you already know how it goes. The streets got a funny way of calling young people, even the ones raised in the pews. By the time high school hit, church visits started to fade and Gloria found herself experimenting with the loud pack. The gospel vocals took a backseat to other distractions, and slowly, the blueprint for her rap career started taking shape. Fast forward to early 2022, and Gloria links up with producer Hit Kid to create the track that changed her whole life. FNF. Let's go. This wasn't no throwaway studio session. This was magic. Lightning in a bottle. That once-in-a-generation energy you can't force. The record crushed everything. TikTok? Blown up. Billboard? Charted. Grammy nod? Secured. But the real power of FNF? It wasn't just the beat or the bars. It was a message. It became a war cry for women done settling for dusty dudes and heartbreak headaches. FNF meant freedom, independence, and leveling up. It hit deep because Glo wasn't preaching fairy tales. She was speaking facts. No broke man needed. No outside validation required. But when success comes fast, drama ain't far behind, and FNF brought it quick. Hit Kid, the guy behind the beat, came out accusing Glo and CMG of trying to snatch ownership of the track behind his back. That's a music game. When a record explodes, everybody wants a piece. Suddenly it's, you signed my song without telling me. But GloRilla wasn't backing down from nobody. She clapped back with confidence and receipts. Made so much money from FNF and ain't seen a red cent outside of shows, but I'm still winning. She made it clear she's no one-hit wonder, and she writes her own bars. She even kept it classy, saying she still got love for Hit Kid even if he started moving funny. But this was just a taste of the snakes and fakes she was about to face next. As labels started circling like vultures, promising fame, fortune, and fake love, Glo played it cool. She didn't get starstruck like most rookies do. She moved smart, meted with everyone, weighing her options. 2 whole weeks of offers before she even sat with Yo Gotti. And even then, she hesitated. Gotti was Memphis royalty with a heavy rep, and that pressure was real. We met on a yacht, she said, just chopping it up, and the rest was history. Now, Gotti wasn't just another exec with chains and contracts. What sealed the deal wasn't his flex, but his vision. While other labels only saw FNF and wanted to clone it, Gotti saw the artist, the whole catalog, the long game. She played him her unreleased tracks right there on that yacht, and the vibe? Instant. I hooked up to the auxiliary, played my music, and we was vibing. That moment, it just felt right. And that's how Glo went from internet buzz to full-blown force. You feel me? Like she said, Gotti believed in her. This wasn't just about cashing in on one viral hit and moving on. Gotti saw the bigger picture. He saw Memphis had already been shaping the rap scene, and GloRilla, she was the next queen meant to carry that legacy. While others saw views, he saw vision. He didn't sign a moment, he signed an artist. But that kind of success, it paints a big target on your back, especially when the system decides you're rising too fast. Right after signing with CMG and riding high off the FNF wave, Glo learned the hard way what happens when fame meets the legal system. In April 2024, she got caught up in Gwinnett County, Georgia, on DUI charges. Now, celeb DUI stops are nothing new, but the body cam footage from this one? Different. It showed an artist who wasn't just pulled over. She was profiled before the conversation even started. Enlighten me on who you are, the cop said. You can smell alcohol. But Glo wasn't even drunk. Watch how fast GloRilla clocked what was really going on. She knew off top she wasn't being seen as innocent. That officer didn't see a star. He saw a stereotype. Yeah, I'm on your TV, she told him. But that don't mean nothing to you. The disrespect was wild. Even after doing all the field tests, even while staying calm, Glo still got cuffed. What if you don't have any proof on me? She asked. Oh, I do, the cop claimed. But where? The whole thing smelled off from jump. That 2024 arrest wasn't just about Glo. It was a mirror for how the system treats young, successful black artists. Instead of offering understanding or grace, they came harder. But while they were plotting, Glo's star was soaring. Her collab with Cardi B on Tomorrow 2 blew the charts out the water. Her name was ringing everywhere. But with all that attention came scrutiny, some fair, some straight-up foul. And the cracks were starting to show in her personal life, too. Behind the glitz was real pain. Glo had just come out of a heavy heartbreak that left her barely eating for weeks. I never want anyone to have that much power over me again, she admitted. It got so bad, she was surviving on protein shakes. I had to force myself, she said in one raw moment. I couldn't even eat. That type of honesty made fans feel her. She wasn't just a rapper, she was a human being. But vulnerability, it also made her a bigger target. While the courts were stacking cases, the internet was stacking opinions. Old beefs with producers resurfaced, business deals soured, and folks tried to drag her name any chance they got. But Glo didn't fold. When she faced backlash for using an offensive lyric in August 2024, she didn't hide or deflect. She corrected it, updated the song, faced it head-on. In a genre where most artists double down, Glo chose growth. Fans noticed and respected it. On August 24, 2024, she officially dropped a revised version of Me and My BH Got Naughty and posted it on X. The feedback? Pure love. A considerate queen, one fan commented. Other artists should take notes. That moment showed Glo was different, accountable, thoughtful, still real. And just when the world thought they had her figured out, she pulled up with her next move, the release of a long-awaited debut album. Glo's debut album, Glorious, was supposed to be a celebration, her victory lap. But instead, it sparked backlash. One track in particular, Rain Down on Me, featured gospel powerhouses like Maverick City Music, Kirk Franklin, Chandler Moore, and Kiera Sheard. And while fans saw it as a heartfelt return to her roots, some folks in the gospel community weren't having it. They questioned why explicit Glo was being platformed alongside gospel legends. But her day ones came with receipts. They reminded the critics that Glo ain't new to this. She came from the church. She served. She sang. She was a choir. This wasn't some PR stunt. This was a full-circle moment. Glo was trying to bridge her past with her present, honoring both sides of who she is. And even as a controversy brewed, she kept showing the world who she really was. She spoke up about body image and plastic surgery with that same unfiltered confidence. No, I'm not getting a BBL. I already feel like the thickest B in DA world. By July 2025, Glo was peaking, performing at the WNBA All-Star Weekend, booked and blessed like never before. But fame don't come without a price. While she was lighting up the stage in Indianapolis on July 20th, some grimy fools broke into her Georgia home. They knew she was gone. 3 suspects. Armed. They got chased off when a family member fired shots. Jewelry gone. Family traumatized. And Glo's sense of safety shattered. But what happened after is what really flips this story upside down. Instead of going after burglars, the ones who violated her space, scared her family, and stole her property, police decided to come after her. Why? Because they found some weed in her bedroom closet. That's what they focused on. Not the burglary. Not the trauma. Not the armed invasion. No. They flipped the narrative and made her, the victim, the target. A young black woman calls for help and ends up in cuffs. Meanwhile, weed is legal in half the damn country. And the wildest part? As of now, the real suspects, the actual criminals, are still out there. No arrests, no names, no leads. The people who broke into her home and violated her family, walking free. But Glo, who wasn't even home, is facing felony charges that could wreck everything she's built. It's a straight-up slap in the face. But when news of her arrest broke, the internet exploded. And it wasn't just her fans. It was people everywhere who saw this for what it was. Social media turned up. The outrage was instant and intense. Everyone saw the same injustice, a victim getting punished while the real offenders roam free. But what made the biggest impact? Glo's own response. She didn't run. She didn't fold. She spoke loud. Crazy. My house got home invaded Saturday while I was in Indianapolis performing, and instead of focusing on finding the suspects, they focused on some cannabis. That post? Over 3.6 million views. It struck a nerve. And she didn't stop there. She followed up with even more clarity. 1. No, I wasn't busted. 2. My house got robbed. 3. I wasn't home. Then dropped the MIC with, long story short, my house gets home invaded and I'm the only one that gets arrested. So that's T, that shrug emoji hit like a punch, equal parts rage, truth, and fed-up energy. The facts don't lie. This was a broken system targeting someone they thought wouldn't fight back. Let's break it down again. Forsyth County deputies got a call around 1:30 a.m. about a burglary in progress at Glo's place near Atlanta. 3 intruders broke in. A family member at home pulled a gun and defended the house. Glo wasn't even in the state. She was doing her job, living her dream. Police confirmed the suspects fled. Nobody got hurt. But what did the cops do next? They didn't chase the criminals. They launched a full-blown search on her house instead. They rolled up with K9 units, drones, full force, looking for weed. And once they found some, boom, arrest made. Not for burglary, not for endangering a family, but for a stash in her closet. That's what they prioritized. Not the trauma, not the threat, just a rapper with weed. Welcome to America, where success as a young black woman doesn't shield you, it exposes you. So here's where it gets even wilder. Police got a full-on search warrant for Glo's house after spotting weed in plain view. According to them, it was a significant amount found in the master bedroom closet. But here's what's absolutely outrageous. Glo's legal team, led by powerhouse attorney Drew Feinling, dropped a statement that exposed just how backward this whole case is. Instead of investigating a violent home invasion, they got distracted by weed. Let that sink in. A group of intruders breaks into Glo's house, knowing she's out of town. Her family, terrified, calls the police, the right thing to do. But what does law enforcement do? They see a little weed and forget all about the burglary. Drew's firm laid it out. Miss Wood was out of town when her home was targeted, her family traumatized, and instead of pursuing the real criminals, officers focus on marijuana. No arrests, no justice, just felony charges for the victim. And this isn't just about weed. This is about a perverted system that criminalizes success, especially young, black, self-made success. It's about a structure designed to break people like Glo, who made it without asking for permission. While the burglars walk free, Glo's facing years in prison. This is about more than laws. It's about power, fear, and control. But people saw it clear as day. The hip-hop community, activists, and everyday folks all started asking the same question. How is this justice? And once again, it was Glo herself who led the response. Not her lawyer, not a press agent, but her. Despite everything she was going through, GloRilla showed up for her headline Glo Bash performance at FedEx Forum in Memphis. She could have canceled. She could have stayed silent. But she hit that stage like the queen she is. Her presence alone was a middle finger to the system. Her journey, from choir kid to rap superstar, has always been about strength, truth, and rising above. And that energy hasn't changed. Even in interviews, Glo kept it real about everything, from heartbreak to healing. Whether it was quoting crackhead wisdom or sharing her pain, her authenticity never wavered. But this situation? It's bigger than one artist. This is a pattern that impacts thousands, especially young black creatives trying to win. The message is clear. Climb too high, move too fast, and the system will try to drag you down. The charges she's facing are serious. Felony marijuana and controlled substance counts. If convicted, she could lose years of her life, international touring rights, and opportunities she's been grinding towards since the jump. Imagine that. A young woman who built a multi-million-dollar empire from the date being criminalized instead of celebrated. Glo's a kind of success story America claims to love. Yet here she is, targeted, profiled, and punished. And this ain't random. Glo's April 2024 DUI arrest already showed how closely she's being watched. This ain't just legal. This is personal. Law enforcement seems obsessed with bringing her down. But if there's one thing Glo's past proves, it's that she don't fold under pressure. Her legal team is locked in. Drew Feinling's public statements aren't just legal defense. They are moral indictment of a broken system that's failed so many before her. What happens next? Nobody knows. The legal system moves slow. Justice is never guaranteed. But one thing is crystal clear. GloRilla has already won in the ways that matter most. She's shown the world her character. She's inspired millions to keep pushing, even when the odds are stacked. Whether she beats the case or not, her impact on hip-hop, on culture, and on every kid with a dream, that's already set in stone.